In order to be creative in life, in order to bring in creativity, you as a human being have to have this rebellious mindset, just like Satan did. You understand? Because life is all about evolution. You get? So for you to move to the next level, you have to evolve. You have to be rebellious, just like how we are created and how we morphed from being a semen into becoming a human being. You understand? Look, we moved from morphing into being an imagery of a snake into becoming having a tail. You know how human being evolved in their mother's stomach. You understand? It took rebellious, it took rebellion, it took evolution, it took evolving to be able to morph into being a human being. I could remember how many years ago, at least 1.5 decades ago, I didn't have these bears I have today. You understand? 1.5 decades ago is even far. At least a decade ago, I wasn't having bears on my face. You understand? So why is it possible that I had bears today? It's because of evolution. You understand? So that's how things grow. Things grow into being rebellious. Understand? Because if you do not bring out your rebellious mindset, all your mindset or everything you think you have in life is going to be nothing but a copy or a dream that never came into manifestation. Just like if you go to the graveyard today, that is where you see the most richest people in the world, not because of their wealthy and money, fiat currency we have today, but because of their mindset, which they never fully developed in evolving. You understand? Because of what? They were scared to rebel. You understand? And if you look at the system now, you see that the system doesn't want you to rebel. They want the old patterns to still be in power, so that then themselves can still be in control. Just like how the school is obey or fail, how the government sectors work, obey or be jailed, and how religious institute also works, obey or be condemned or destroyed. You understand? So they don't want you, even if you are evolving in your body, they don't want you to evolve in here, because they know that once you can be able to evolve in here, then that brings in a new whole change, and that is where empires fall. You understand? And that is where a new era begins. You understand? So they don't want that. That is why they are so much against you rebelling. You understand? But creativity starts from rebellious mindset. You understand? Because a lot of CEOs today in the world are all rebellious people. You cannot have a creative mindset without having a rebellious mindset within. You get? So that is how it works. Every given thing in life you see works. You have to have a rebellious mindset for you to be creative. You understand? And there was a man I met the other day. He was preaching to me about Jesus and all those stuffs. An old man. So yesterday was Sunday, right? I think today is Monday. So when I brought up what's it called? A rebellion. He never wanted to talk to me again. You understand? He started seeing me as Satan and all that. But there's something people don't understand. If you don't have rebellious mindset, there's no way you are going to evolve. Because human beings, we are created to rebel. All the molecules in my body, all the atoms in my body, the carbon in my body, the blood cells, the red and white blood cells, everything I have in my body, all my nervous system are all rebellious. Because if they can't be able to rebel, they can't be creative. There's no way I'm going to morph and be this big I am. There's no way I'm going to have all these bears in my face. You understand? So that is how it is, and that is how your immune system also works. Whenever you are sick, many times I don't take medications. Even if I'm so down with fever and all that, I don't take medication. I will allow it to be, and all my cells in my body will be fighting it, and they will fight it until they eliminate it. You understand? That is also how rebellious mindset and system works. You get? So I'm saying this in essence, and also in, I don't even know how to put it anymore, but if you can be able to have a rebellious mindset as a human being, you can be very much creative. You understand? A mind that doesn't have a rebellious mindset and it can't be able to have a creative mindset, you will be stagnant. People who have rebellious mindset will use you to climb their own ladder. You get the point now? That is how it is. So for you to be creative, you have to be rebellious, because you are designed to do so. You get? Until next time, peace.